Hi there, Mr. Muhammed is here. I'm going to solve this question from grade 12 scientific math. Check out my other videos, join my group on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel to see my latest videos about grade 12 math. Feel free to ask me questions. Let's start this question. We have two graphs for each one is for two functions. This graph is for f and g. This graph is also for another f and g. What we're going to find the domain and range for each function. To find the domain on graph, domain is always along x-axis. Domain is along x-axis. And range is along y-axis. To find the domain for f, you see along x-axis, f is in front of 4 until -4, and they are closed, so the domain for f is equal to closed from -4 to 4. To write the domain, we are always starting by writing the smaller number on the left and the bigger number on right. Because these 2 points here are closed, that's why the brackets are closed. The domain for G, the domain of G is in front of -3 until 3. So it's also closed because both vertices are closed. So it's from -3 until 3. To find the range for f, range is along y-axis. So range of f, it's starting from -3 because this point here is in front of -3 until 5. So the range for f, it's from -3 to 5 because range is always along y-axis. And along y-axis, the function is from -3. It's from -3 until 5. Okay, the range for G along y-axis, it's in front of 4 until -4. So the range for G is -4, 4. And the bracket is closed because this point here is closed. Now we found the domain for f, we found the domain for G, and the domain range for them. Okay. To find the domain for this f, as you see, this f is in front of 5. And on the other side, it's continuous here, it's continuing here until -4. So the domain of f is equal to from -4 to 5. The domain for G is equal to G is from 5 to -5. From 5 to -5. So the domain of G is from -5 until 5. To find the range for f, range is along y-axis. So f starting from -4 and continues until these lines are for f, so it is until 2. More than 2, there is no any f vertically, so it's from -4 to 2, and it's closed in -4 because here it's closed and here it's closed. The range for G is equal to G is along y-axis, so it's starting with -4, it continues until 7. So it's -4 to 7, the range of G. Now we answered part A for all the functions that we have using the given graph. Part B, find f of -2 and g of 3. Okay, part A done. To find f of -2 and g of 3, again we are going to use the graph for each function to find out the value for f of -2. This line here is f and -2 is here. So guess what is this? It looks like -1. Since it's on graph and the graph is not on grid, it should be like this. If you use ruler, will be better for you. So f of, we're going to answer part B. So f of -2 is equal to f of -2. -2 in place of x, it will give us -1. So f of -2 is equal to -1. G of 3. Look at g. This function is for g. Here is 2. 3 is right here. So g of 3 is equal to -4. G of 3, it's not negative, is equal to -4. 3 is here, so g of 3 is in front of -4. To find f of -2 here on this side, f of -2, f is here and -2 is here, so f of -2 is -2. Because this point here is between -2 and -2. f of -2 is -2, and g of 3 is equal to 0. 3 is here, so the x of this point is 3 and the y is 0 because this point is on the x-axis, that's why it has the y 0. So g of 3 is equal to 0. Part C, find the value of x, certifying fx equals gx. To answer part C, two functions are equal in the point that they cross each other. So it will be the intercepts between functions. The intercept between this f and this g is this point. These two functions, they cross at only one point. So find the value of x, verifying that fx is equal to gx. What is the value of this x? The value of this x is -1. So x equals -1 makes fx be equal to gx. This is the answer of part C. Done. Here, f and g, they crossed in 2 points, in this point and in this point. The question tells us find the value of x that makes them equal. What is the value of this x? This x is 4 and this x is -2. So x equals 4 and x equals -2 will make gx be equal to fx, or fx be equal to gx. Anyway, this is part C. Two functions where they cross, it means it's the intercept. In the intersection point, the functions are equal. How they are equal? It means for these two functions, if we input -1 in them, we will get 0 for both functions. That's why -1 and 0 is on their graphs, and the functions crossing each other at -2 and 0. These two functions. The same for her, but in different points. Part D, estimate a solution of the equation fx equals 2. Fx equals 2 here. Here is 2 in y. Fx is always representing y. What we are going to find here, y equals 2. On the f, where y equals to here, and the x is 1. So f of 1 is equal to 2. For this f, f of 0 is equal to 2, f of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and any number between them. So from 0 to 5, if you choose any number, it's correct. So f of, let's say 2, is equal to 2. You can also say f of 4 is equal to 2 in this function. Part E, estimate a solution of the equation gx equals 0. When you look at the function g, where does it equal to 0? It means where it crosses y-axis. Gx equals 0. 0 means when it crosses x-axis, not y. Gx equals 0. So here, the function g here, it crosses x-axis, so it means y is 0 here. So gx equals 0, the value is -1 because g of -1 is equal to 0. So for part E, g of -1 is equal to 0 because in -1 the function of g crosses and is not only -1, 1, g of 1 is equal to 0, and this number here, it's between 2 and 3, it's closer to 2. So since the question says estimate, from 2.3 it's correct, from 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, they are all correct, and any number between them, for example 2.32, 2.41, 2. Any number between 2.2 until 2.4. So g of, this is estimation, g of 2.3 is equal to 0. This one is estimation, but the other two are exact, although the question asks about estimation. On the other side, we have gx crossing x-axis in 2 points, and the points are 3 and -3. So g of -3 is equal to 0. G of 3 is equal to 0. So estimate the solution. The solution is -3 and 3 because g of 3 is 0, g of -3 is 0. That's how you deal with graph. Thanks for watching.